My name is Aslan, and this is my mom, Lorian, and my stepdad, John. And this was my baby sister, Thisbe.
She was just a great baby. She was like the best baby. I remember even writing in this little journal that I kept that I remember I even went back to look at it later. I said, "You're so good, it's almost scary." You know, the first year was, it was perfect for any child, and that Thisbe hit all of her milestones. You know, she was, if anything, she was probably a little ahead. The future looked really bright and promising, and then at 16 months, she started with a wheeze, an inspiratory wheeze. It was a slow descent down that we didn't know was coming, but it just kept stacking up, all of these things that she was losing.
When Lorian and John first encountered BVVL, the causes of the condition were completely unknown. They were left with very little information about what they could do to help their children.
Her eyelids started drooping again. The muscles in her eyelids were being attacked. Her hearing, the vocal cords, the smile, that huge smile, was disappearing.
It's in a class of diseases that impair the peripheral nervous system. So the motor neurons quit working. And when they stop working, then they don't have the ability anymore to send the messages to the muscles to move.
It's like a cord, an extension cord, and that extension cord gets frayed in the middle. And so you plug it in, and sometimes it works, and other times it doesn't. Why? Well, the connection's not getting through, that electricity's not getting through, and that's what happens with motor neuron diseases and BVVL.
It was the worst thing. It was the worst thing that could possibly happen to her. And when it's sitting there on paper, and there are only 38 cases at the time ever documented in 100 years, and they all died, horrific deaths, slow descending paralysis, with cognitive function perfectly intact.
The same month, Thisbe started showing symptoms of Brown-Valeto-Van Laer. We found out Mom was expecting another baby.
As perfect as I thought Thisbe was, Noah was even more perfect as a baby, and that he had everything. He came into this household with all of this trauma going on. So we actually said, you know what? He's a blessing. He's come to us because he's going to show his sister how to get better. And we didn't mean to have him, but look how great. He's going to show us all the way.
After fighting a 17-month battle, Thisbe passed away in April of 2007. But then, just 1 month later, Noah too started showing signs of BVVL.
We'd already made the decision with Noah when he got sick that we would not prolong the disease. We would not trach him. And so by doing that, we knew we would cut the time that we would have with him, but we wouldn't let him suffer like we saw Thisbe suffer.
My mom and John were desperately searching for a way to save Noah. They were told the only way to discover a possible cure was to find the gene for BVVL.
It was a brand new light bulb that went off, because I'd spent 2.5 years doing research every waking moment that I possibly had with Thisbe. So what it ended up doing is it just caused me to ask different questions to these people who I had before said, what are you trying on your patients? Then I started emailing them and saying, do you know of anyone who can help us find the gene?
It can be very difficult as a scientist to move in a new direction without support. This kind of creates a catch-22 situation where no one studies a disease because no one has any data on studying that disease, no one has a track record in studying that condition, and so no one can get federal money to be able to study it.
Meeting the Scotts and really hearing their story made us work harder. It really emphasized how important it was to find the gene. They were also very important in identifying other families and in really bringing BVVL research to the fore. They reached out to the Genetic Alliance, they reached out to the director of NIH, and they said, this is important, it has to be found. So it really gave a huge amount of urgency to our mission.
We found this doctor. He didn't have what he needed, which was a sequencing machine. And so, to make a long story short, we got him. We got him a sequencer through this other researcher who was willing to help. And then I think within 2 months of all that really great stuff happening, Noah died.
It was devastating, but Mom and John just kept going. They wouldn't allow Thisbe and Noah's lives to be in vain.
What happened to Thisbe and Noah can't continue to happen. And so that's what's kept us kind of keep going. Thisbe and Noah are not here with us anymore. And the only thing that we have is the foundation. And if we can save some lives, then that's keeping Thisbe and Noah alive.
The mission of the Thisbe and Noah Scott Foundation is to save lives by promoting research, awareness, and support for children and families that are affected by pediatric neuromuscular diseases. We've made a big impact on BVVL. We're very proud of the research we've done, and we're proud of the research that our donors have helped us do. We've given over $500,000 to Harvard to research BVVL. With this research, Harvard published a groundbreaking paper on the mechanics of BVVL.
So what Dr. Egan's group did at Harvard was to really look at this question about what the causative gene was doing. And when they did this research, they found several very interesting and unexpected findings.
Within a year of the gene discovery, a treatment was proposed. That treatment was then tested and reported out in the literature, something that really just doesn't happen in the world of pediatric neurology. It's an amazing, amazing story.
There are very few people in this world that are as dedicated to their cause as John and Lorian are. They are real champions. They're heroes of research. And I can't think of anyone for any other condition who has put as much of themselves into really solving something as they have. They've literally changed the face of our understanding of this disease through their work.
They've driven research that ultimately has led to a treatment. I don't know if they realize how amazing a feat that is.
What we've accomplished with BVVL is extremely miraculous in the world of science. Pediatric neuromuscular diseases are considered rare diseases. However, if you look at the statistics, it shows that 15 million children just in the US are affected by rare disease. And when you think of that number, that's just not that rare. And of these 15 million, very few have treatments, which means probably none of them really have cures. And so we're hoping that we'll accomplish things with BVVL with that research. And then we hope to start knocking out other pediatric neuromuscular diseases one by one.
We would hope that even a very rare disorder like BVVL, once you understand the genetic underpinnings of it, could really launch you into new discovery modes for multiple diseases. I expect many other disorders to be described and hopefully pushed along into pathways to better treatments with this knowledge. We're just getting started in this field.
I think the future for our foundation, we can continue to make a difference in these kids' lives and in the lives of their families and their parents who sit by and struggle and do what they can for these kids. But with our mission of research, awareness, and support, I do think that we can give these families more answers, we can give these researchers and doctors more answers, and we can save lives.
Because we were able to find the gene, it was safe for my mom to have more children. This is my little brother, Open, and this is my little sister, Hattie. It's bittersweet. Memories of Thisbe and Noah never fade. There has been joy and sorrow, but always there has been love.